We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us. That's a chillingly catchy slogan right there. And since first coming to prominence back in 2003 as a mere joke on 4chan, the Anonymous group have grown into a serious force to be reckoned with. They've released contrail data from NASA, doxed child pornographers, and they've even taken on Scientology. So let's take a look at their most famous exploits in our list of the 5 biggest Anonymous leaks. In at 5, Operation Darknet. Anonymous's Operation Darknet was probably their biggest crowd pleaser yet, as in October 2011, they launched an online offensive against those who used anonymous proxy hosting techniques to hide child pornography. Kitty fiddlers collectively soiled themselves as a series of distributed denial-of-service attacks were launched against websites known to offer this material. And when over 40 of them went down on the dark web, the pedophile community, lurking behind Tor, began to speak out, claiming it was their God-given right that we can choose to have our sexual preferences for youth. Oh, that's fair. So long as I'm given my God-given right to slowly remove your genitals with a cheese grater if I find out where you are, pal. And find out we did, as after tracking a huge number of these perverts through their disgusting forum posts over a period of several months, Anonymous doxed more than 1,500 maggots who used and provided child pornography by revealing their usernames and other information about them. Anonymous then invited the FBI and Interpol to follow up their investigations, and later announced that they planned to continue this fight to make the internet uninhabitable for these disgusting degenerates to exist. Anonymous proved themselves to their word when in April 2016, in response to a new wave of child pornographers sprouting up online, Operation Darknet was relaunched. We're coming for you, Pedo Bear. You can't hide in the woods forever. At 4, Project Chanology. Throughout the early 2000s, the cult of Scientology was gradually beginning to attract more and more attention from the general public. And while people knew of Tom Cruise's involvement in the church, few knew or cared much about it. Until on the 14th of January 2008, Anonymous leaked a video of Cruise being interviewed by other Scientologists as part of their war on the group called Project Chanology. And it was darn weird. In the video, Cruise discusses many strange things, including the apparent fact that only Scientologists are qualified to help after a car accident, that Scientologists are the best at helping drug addicts, and that they are the only group that can bring nations together to achieve world peace. But throughout the video, you can't help but notice how Cruise's eyes look deranged, and how he laughs like a maniac. I mean, we all knew he was weird after that Oprah couch incident, but this was a whole new level of nutty. The video's dramatic effect was amplified by the fact Anonymous put Mission Impossible music on the background, and soon it caught the attention of the Church of Scientology. They demanded its removal on copyright grounds. And while it was taken down at the time, Gawker.com refused to take their copy offline, and an unedited version posted just 3 days after the original remains on YouTube to this day. 3. Contrail exposure. In February of 2016, Anonymous managed to hack their way into NASA's servers. Probably not for the first time, but on this occasion, they claim to have discovered evidence of a top-secret weather-modifying drone program. AnonSec released a full paper detailing how the hack went down, why they did it, and their analysis of the data they recovered, which includes information pertaining to a project called Alternative Fuel Effects on Contrails and Cruise Emissions. Some of the most damning data seem to have been taken from a DC-8 jetliner flight analysis. But just to make sure everything was covered, Anonymous then posted a 276-gigabyte haul of data, including 631 aircraft and radar videos, 2,143 flight logs, and the personal data of 2,414 NASA employees. This information was leaked to a member of InfoWars, so we can't be sure of its veracity. But after Anonymous claimed they had managed to gain control of a $100 million drone flying over the Atlantic, publicly available flight logs were released which seemed to corroborate ONSEC's story. NASA denies their claims, but then those naughty boys would, wouldn't they? At 2. Steubenville. Another of Anonymous's more gallant projects was their involvement in the 2013 Steubenville rape case, where a group of boys from the Steubenville High School football team had been accused of gang raping an underage girl in rural Ohio. And with what looked like a potential cover-up starting to occur, Anonymous intervened. It all started when activist Michelle McKee contacted Derek Lowstutter, a member of Anonymous who went by the name KY Anonymous, and who had enjoyed significant success in fighting against the Westboro Baptist Church, and revenge porn scumbag Hunter Moore. She reached out after seeing Lowstutter's angry posts about the case, and passed on incriminating tweets and posts regarding Steubenville to him, which he then released. So angry tweeting can do some good after all. Lowstutter and a group of other Anonymous members known as NightSec then pretended to have information on everyone involved with both the cover-up and the crime, threatening to release it if the guilty parties didn't come forward. This threat and the subsequent hacking of Steubenville's website made national news. And if you'll remember, they followed this up by staging a masked protest of 1,000 people outside the local courthouse. As Anonymous's deadline for the accused to admit their crimes edged ever closer, Lowstutter was anonymously sent a video file through Twitter showing an old Steubenville football player drunkenly joking about the incident and referring to the victim as the dead girl. Anonymous leaked it, and a Michael Nodianos later apologized for his comments. And Lowstutter gained unwanted attention when he used his KY Anonymous profile to publicly demand that Anonymous should be careful not to defame innocent people. This violated Anonymous's no leadership protocol, and the rest of the group went rogue, with Lowstutter's real identity suddenly under threat of exposure. All of this unfolding while 2 boys were being held on trial for the rape, with some of the leaked evidence used in the case against them. And finally, in 2013, Trent Mays and Malik Richmond were given pathetically short 1-year sentences. But Anonymous wasn't satisfied. There were others who had escaped justice, and this proved even truer when a second Steubenville rape case came to light in 2015. Both Lowstutter and Anonymous were committed to finding and exposing more evidence of these terrible sex crimes. But there was a problem. Several members of the group, including Lowstutter, had been outed and raided. And as of November 2016, he has pled guilty to 2 charges relating to his hacking activities and faces 10 years in prison, with co-hacker Noah McHugh also facing jail time. Because when a heroic hacker gets more jail time than the convicted rapist, that's called justice, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1. H.B. Gary Federal. It seems like a pretty bad idea to call out Anonymous online, and an even worse one to claim you've infiltrated their group. But that's exactly what Aaron Barr did in 2011. And it did not go well for him or his business. Barr was the chief executive of technology at the security firm H.B. Gary Federal. And in response to his purported infiltration, Anonymous's first act was to wipe his personal iPad remotely. I mean, that's pretty annoying. All those family photos and your scores on Candy Crush gone. But this was just the start. Because a few days later, Anonymous made mincemeat of his company's supposed security by hacking the H.B. Gary Federal page and replacing it with a message saying Anonymous should not be messed with. And they didn't stop there. Oh no! Because Anonymous then decided to drop their phone network delete important files, and hack into the company's email system to dump 68,000 pieces of internal communication out into the open. And when they did this, they didn't just leak the emails through some random hosting site. No! They leaked HB Gary's emails through the Twitter page of Chief Executive Aaron Barr. This kind of incident would be pretty embarrassing for any company, but for a cybersecurity company, it proved fatal. And it's no surprise that the firm folded just 1 year later. And that's our list. If you liked this, why don't you check out our recent video on the biggest WikiLeaks exposures too? And if this clip gets enough attention, maybe we'll cover the biggest anonymous hacks as well, like that time they bummed everyone out and broke the PlayStation Network. Please don't do that again during the Christmas season. I do not want to have to talk to my family.